Hey guys, what's going on? Thanks for joining me today. I'm Mark, this is Spiguyver Backpacking, and I'm out here today doing something a little different. So, I usually come out in this area, throw up a hammock, and lounge and talk to you about some gear that I've got. Well, that's not going to change. I'm still going to be here talking to you about some gear today. But for those of you who are fans of the site, who visit this page or this channel quite often, you're going to be a little surprised at what I'm showing you today. I've got my backpack down here, something in it that's a little different from what I normally do. Let's go. Alright guys, so what I've got is a tent. This is the Big Agnes Copper Spur HV UL1. I've got the footprint for it, the stakes, the poles, the body, and the fly. So let's just jump into it and get this thing set up. There you go, like 2 minutes, set up completely. Probably would have helped if I had staked it out first, then the wind wouldn't have blown it, wouldn't have gotten over a little bit out of the frame of the camera. But you saw, real easy to set up. It's one pole, all the pieces are connected together. It's all shock corded, you just put it together, snap it in. It's color coded, you've got gray grommets on the tent and on the footprint on this end. You've got orange on the tent and the footprint on this end. You've got orange on the poles. Super easy. So the HV is for higher volume, so it actually has a little bit more headroom and a little bit more width as it goes up. However, the body of the tent is about the same size as just the normal UL1. Now, this year's model is a little bit different than last year's model in the design of the door, and it's a big change and a good change. Here's why. The old model door was a rainbow door that went up and then down on the other side, and it was completely connected down at the bottom, which meant that the door, when open, flopped down, and to get into the tent you had to climb over that door. If it's wet out, now this door is on the ground, and so it's getting muddy, it's getting wet, it's getting nasty. Whereas now, it has two zippers, one that goes up and one that comes across, and the door goes to the side. So now, if I want to get in, I just simply sit down in, and I'm not worried about, am I stepping on the door? Is the door down in the dirt? Is it in the mud? If I want to, I can roll it up, lash it back with this toggle pretty easily. And now it's back out of the way. I can hang out here, let the breeze come through. You've got two different colors of mesh bug netting in here. You've got the orange up top, which supposedly allows more light and allows you to lay and enjoy the stars on a nice night, while you can close it up and keep the bugs out. Let's take a look at some of the features of this tent. So if we come inside, it's got a pretty decent size floor space. A 6'2" person is gonna have no problems. You get much taller than that and you're gonna have issues. Up top, you've got your bug netting, and you have a pocket, another pocket, and a third pocket right here. Okay, so we've got 3 pockets up top. And then down here on the side, you've got your tag, your manufacturer tag. You can absolutely take off after you buy the tent. And then you've got another pocket right here. Cool thing about this pocket right here, if we're taking a look at this one, is it has this hole for headphones to come through, so you can come down while you're laying with your head down here. You can run your headphones through. There are loops up at the top, so you have a loop right here, another loop over here, a loop there, and then another loop down there. You have loops on either end at the corners, and the same down at the foot end. You have loops on either corner, and you can run lines. You could get a peak loft, like a gear shelf that goes up here that you could put your items in, or you could run lines and do something like the hang time hook Ridgeline media system that I use in my hammock could easily be used in here as well. Now that we've seen the tent set up, let's go ahead and put the Rainfly on and check that out. So to initially get it on, just to get it up real quick, that was real easy, very simple to do. You can then go through and do the finer points of getting it set up the way that you want it, staking it out, and that's what we're going to do right now. Okay, let's walk around and take a look at some of the features of this. So it's got a pretty good sized vestibule here with tabs along the way of Velcro to lock down this flap that runs over the zipper. But if we open it up, we can see that there's a pretty good amount of room in here to store your gear and keep it dry. Meanwhile, it keeps the fly off of the tent body itself, so there's plenty of room around inside to give you that double wall and allow some airflow inside. So walking around, you've got the pull-out staked right there. If you wanted to, you can undo that, roll up both sides of the vestibule, and you have toggles, and you have a loop on the inside so you can stow them out of the way. Same on this side. Here you see the toggle, and if we were to pull this back, inside at the same spot there is a loop. Now there are additional pullouts that can be used here with the line locks to tighten it up. Cool thing is, just like the fly, or just like the footprint in the tent, the fly is also color coded, so gray, silver on this end, clips right in, no problem whatsoever. Pull out right here on the end, and then you have this vent area that you can leave closed, or you can open it up, and there's this little pole in there that can stow up inside or be pulled out, so you could lock it down, or if you want some additional venting inside, set it up with the Velcro. Not as easy one-handed, but it's pretty simple, and that provides rain protection there. Again, color coded. Coming down through, one pull out here. You've got that one cross pole that actually has places where the pole can go into the fly. Color coded orange on the foot end. Another pull out here. And then we're back around to the front. A very nice, lightweight, quick setup tent. All right, so I want to give you guys another option on a way to set this up. So I set up the tent before, and you saw just how easy that was. Now on those nights where you're worried about rain, but you're not worried about bugs, and you want to go as light as possible, if you have the footprint, which is an additional fee, something that you can buy afterwards, you take your poles, you take your rain fly, and you take your stakes. This is what you can do. So now I have the footprint laid down. I have the tent poles in it because they have the grommets just like the tent body itself does. Now I'll take the rain fly and I can open it up. I know that the door goes on that side. So I just lay it over and I can go ahead and put the poles in how they need to go. Just reach underneath. Snap the buckles. So there's the buckles on each end, color coded. So since I left the doors open, you can see you're left with a nice shelter that you can stake out, guy out, and use without the tent body. And you're protected from the ground, you're protected from the elements above, and this is a good feature. Now, you can take this one step further. I was asked the question, how can you use this tent if it's raining and not get the tent body wet? Because the way that it tells us to put it up, you put up the tent body and then you put the rain fly over the top. Now I've got it set up with the footprint, the poles, and the rain fly. Now I'm going to show you how we do this where we can now set up the tent body inside. I'm going to roll the doors back and we're going to take a look. Alright, you can see I've got the doors rolled back and you can see how they are held back by the toggle and the loop. Here I have my tent body. So I would not suggest undoing the vestibule and having this open while you're doing this if you're actually doing it in a storm. I've got them open so I can show you guys how this would be done. Now I'm going to locate the colored ends. I know that the orange ends are my foot end, so they're down here. I'm going to lay it in here just like this. Now at this point I would have guyed everything out so that it's as far away from the tent body as possible inside, and it gives me more room. So I'm going to crawl in here with it and show you guys what I'm doing. So I've laid it out so that it is on the footprint. Now I'm just going to take the clips and start attaching them to the poles. All the way through. I'm going to go ahead and move out here so I can get to the rest of it and not be in the way. Now, where I am right now, I could be under the vestibule and be protected still. Okay, so we have the tent body itself now set up inside. The only thing you could still do, and it's not even necessary, is undo the poles from the footprint and attach them to the tent itself to keep it strung out a little bit further, but it totally would work the way that it is now. However, if there is any wind coming underneath, it may move a little bit. So what you would have to do is go to an end, unconnect it, reconnect it, and now you're good to go. put it through both, and now it is stuck to the staked in footprint. You do that all 4 sides, and you've now put it up underneath the rain fly, kept this as dry as possible. So there you go. That's how you can put up your tent body underneath the rain fly and stay as dry as possible while you're out on the trail. In the morning when you go to take it down, you've got your vestibule, you'll climb out and just do the opposite of what we did. You may have to throw on your rain jacket, go outside and undo the tent poles from the body if you did that step. But then it's just as simple as going in, undoing the clips, putting it away. Pretty simple. Then you come outside, take down the fly, take down the poles, load up the footprint, and you're ready to hit the trail. So let's take a look at how much room is inside. Right now I have my Big Agnes Double Z Mummy in here, and it is 20 inches wide, 72 inches long, and 4 inches tall. And you can see how much room there is inside, all the way around it. At the foot end, there is plenty of space. Not a lot of room for gear, but it has a pretty substantial vestibule. And really, the difference between this and a hammock for me is I store most of my gear underneath my hammock. Here I'd be storing it outside. Either way, it's going to be on the ground. Still protected under a vestibule here, just like it would be under my tarp on my hammock, but plenty of room in there. So for me, I am about 5'7" to 5'8", and I've got about a foot of room down there. I've got several inches above my head. Plenty of room to roll around, get comfortable, and lay however I want to lay in here. I like my Big Agnes pad in here, 4 inches thick. I can adjust the amount of air in it to really suit my comfort, whether I'm laying on my side. I do like to lay on my side when I'm in a tent, and I like this thicker one because it keeps my hip from hitting the ground, unlike some of the smaller, thinner ones. This one does not have any insulation, so that's something to keep in mind. So I'm sure that right now some of my regular viewers of this channel are asking, why did I get a tent? I've got plenty of hammocks, I've got lots of tarps. Almost all of my backpacking trips, you guys have seen me using those. They're lightweight, they work really well, I sleep extremely well on them. And that's actually one of the reasons I went to the hammock, was because I don't sleep quite as well on the ground as I have found myself sleeping in the hammock. However, I like to make sure that I have the right tool for the right job. Just like you wouldn't use a hammer to install a spark plug in your car. Just isn't going to work right. It's not the right tool for that job. There are times where I want to go places that either hammocks aren't allowed, or there are no trees. There are simply just no trees to hang a hammock from. So, in those situations, I want to have the ability to still go out and explore. There are a lot of places that you spend just days above tree line or in granite areas where you just cannot hang a hammock. Some people would say you can get creative. You could take poles, you could take things to hang from. I would rather enjoy the hike, carry a tent, and do it that way. So it's just expanding my arsenal of tools, the weapons at my disposal to go out and make sure that I have a great trip and enjoy what I'm doing out there. So this Big Agnes Copper Spur HV UL1 is going to be what I take on those trips where I can't hang a hammock. This is going to be the tool that I take, the tool that I use. And so far, I've got to say, I'm really impressed with it. Sets up very fast, lightweight, a lot of different configurations you can set it up in. And now that I know that I can set it up in the rain and keep the inside dry, that's just an added bonus. So guys, if you have any questions, would like any more information about this, comment down below. If you haven't done so before, click the like button, hit the subscribe button, follow this channel. Lots more to come. Thank you guys. I will see you down the trail.